welcome to the Run Testers. I'm joined by Nick. Nick, what are we looking at today?
Today we're going to look at a comparative. Today we're going to look at the Beats Powerbeats Pro and the Apple AirPods Pro headphones and how good they are for running.
So what are these? What are these for? Tell us about the tech initially.
So these are a couple of very expensive pairs of headphones that are basically right at the top of the market at the moment. The Apple AirPods Pro have introduced active noise cancelling, which is one of their killer features. It's not a huge deal for running, but they are good headphones for running in general. And the Beats Powerbeats Pro, probably their star feature is a really long battery life and this ear hook design, which makes them very good for running. They're not going to fall off basically at any point.
So these ones more sporty than these ones?
I'd say so, but I think they're both kind of aiming for the mass market rather than being specific sports headphones like some others that we've tried.
And we're expecting a lot of people out there to look at these two and decide between them whether or not these are the headphones they choose for their daily life and for running, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, these are some headphones that, I mean, they need to be given their price, but you really can use them for everything. They're good running headphones. They're good for everything, and they're probably directly in competition with each other at the kind of top end of the market.
So we're going to go deep into how these work, and we're going to sort of run through each of the different areas. But primarily, when we're testing things, we're focusing on how these things fit into the running life.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
So, the Apple AirPods Pro will be something that people will want to use for work. But when we're deciding whether or not things are good, we're really thinking about how they perform on the run. Yeah. So if we start fit, how have you found the fit and the comparison between the two?
The fit is basically the first thing I look for in a pair of running headphones, because if they're falling off, doesn't matter how good they sound. I found these perfect. Obviously, the ear hook, you can actually adjust that a bit, twist it round, fit it around your ear. They're just not going to go anywhere once they're in your ears. They're not incredibly comfortable under like a beanie or a headband, but that's not really a big deal for most people. A lot of people wear headbands these days. And also, they've got buttons on the side, so you can use those on the run. I think fit-wise, they're about as good as you can get for running headphones because that ear hook design is so secure.
And is that something that you feel is noticeably better than you get with the AirPods?
So the AirPods Pro are interesting actually. I think it'll actually depend on the individual person. So the original AirPods, which just sat in the ear, were very lightweight, were actually brilliant for me for running, but I know a lot of people, they just fell out their ears. They weren't any good at all. The AirPods Pro have a silicone tip that fit right into the ear, so in theory will be more secure for lots of people, but actually for me, I found that silicone tip would come out a bit and they'd end up fitting like the old AirPods, kind of just hanging on my ear. They never fell out, but they didn't feel as secure, and you obviously lost the sound quality when the silicone thing slips out. It's not as immersive.
So the silicone tip, and that's there for a specific reason as well. So it creates a seal, right? So the sound is kind of more enveloping. Right?
Yeah, exactly. So you get much better sound, and it's key for the active noise cancellation. So I think a lot of people, I know you found that these fit, they stay in perfectly, right?
Yeah, they were great for me. I had no problems at all.
Yeah, so I think most people will have that, but I found that actually the old AirPods just sat in my ear and never moved an inch. And because they're so lightweight, these don't fall out either. It's actually fine, but I did lose that kind of locked-in silicone. The fit from the silicone tip wasn't always there when I was running.
And I'd say one thing I did find with these, and I'm used to in-ear headphones that you tap to control.
Yeah.
And these ones have got a slightly different control system, haven't they? So you're actually squeezing and holding. And I found on the stems there was a little bit more of a tug.
Yeah.
And while they didn't actually fall out, I felt worried that they might. Particularly running at a pace. I don't know how you found it.
Yeah, so it's weird. So the original AirPods, you just tap them twice and you set what you want that to control, and that was really good. And I think Apple's felt because it's got a silicone tip, it's going to be in your ear. If you tap that, it's going to hurt. And I don't think it would, because it was a very light tap.
Very delicate ears though, don't you?
Yeah.
Your delicate ears.
I think I'd have preferred the tap system to still be in place. And for example, or buttons. People are very against buttons, but actually when you're running and you're sweaty, touch controls in general, or squeezy controls, just a little bit harder to use than just a button. If you've pressed it, you've pressed it. Yeah. And these have the same buttons on both sides. They've got a volume up and down, and then a multifunction button which play pauses.
It also, I think, it felt a little bit complicated. And I always struggle a little bit. I don't actually tap buttons very often when I run. I hit play on the playlist, and that's me done.
Yeah.
Until the end of the music. But so you've got one squeeze, play pause, two squeezes,
skip forward,
three squeezes,
skip back.
And then press and hold.
Switches it between active noise cancelling and transparency mode, which is key.
And the press and hold and the triple squeeze.
Yeah,
as you're running and you're pacing, I think that's a little bit too much.
Yeah, I'd also skipping back. I don't know if it skips back in the music. carry on forward. You don't need to go back.
Yeah. And so, out of these two, if you had to pick one for fit first, you're saying.
I think you can't beat an ear hook. If it's purely that you want it to stay in your ear, that's going to stay in your ear. It can't fall off. So, but I do think probably 90% of people are going to be absolutely fine with the Apple ones as well. And I'm fine with them even if they don't fit perfectly. They didn't fall out. And they actually are more comfortable under a headband, which is important.
That's absolutely vital for you specifically. And then in terms of controls.
So these have got a volume up and down and a multifunction button, exactly the same controls on both sides. Same on the Apple, the same controls on both sides, squeeze it for the different things. You can tinker in the Bluetooth section on the app on your iPhone to change what you want it to control. But you can also, the other thing with the Apple is if you say, "Hey Siri," you don't have to have any buttons, it will pick it up, even on the run. That's one thing I do find annoying about them. They don't have the volume up and down on them, which is probably the control I would use the most.
Just put it up to 11, off you go. Right?
Yeah.
Simple.
Hey Siri, turn up to 11 is what I usually go with. Yeah.
Let's go. And actually, both can be used independently, so you can run with one bud basically on both sets.
Yeah,
right?
Which is great.
And then, an interesting thing about that kind of actually extends the battery life arguably, because you can run with one bud, pop the other one in later, and you get kind of extended battery life. But what's the battery life like on both of these? How does that compare?
So they're both total the same in terms you get 24 hours in the buds in the case, but in the Beats Powerbeats Pro you get 9 hours on the actual headphone, which is obviously brilliant for longer distance runners, ultra marathon runners, pushing it, but I mean a short ultra. But generally that means it's kind of all day wear, and then you get another 15 hours in the case, so it will charge it up once, not even twice. They Apple list it as 24 hours total, which is, I guess you look at it that way.
But there's one big problem, right? There's one, if you can, I don't know if you're holding it up, you can kind of see that there's a problem between these two. If you're carrying the case, one of these you can run with in your pocket.
Yeah.
Or a running belt, like a flip belt this will tuck into fairly nicely and it's kind of ergonomic and it works. That beast.
Yeah, you're not running with this.
Unless you've got a bag.
So it's 9 hours of battery life. So you basically, and if you're going out for a long run, you can actually get away with leaving the case at home in a sense, because the case is so big, but it is a bit annoying. And the other thing I'm annoying, if you're making a case that big, why am I not getting like 100 hours of battery life from it, which you can get on very small cases from other headphones these days. So the fact that it's got the same amount of battery life as that case is a bit ludicrous to me. And speaking of battery life in this, you get 5 hours in each AirPod, which just drops to 4.5 if you're using active noise cancellation or transparency, which you will be. So it's 4.5 really, I think.
Okay. You mentioned the transparency and the noise cancellation. Yeah. Personally, I don't really see huge amounts of value in noise cancellation whilst I'm running, except in the gym on the treadmill, where I want to cancel out the terrible Eurohouse that they play and replace it with my own.
Eurohouse.
But yeah, with my own terrible Eurohouse. But the transparency feature is really interesting on the
it's brilliant. So one of the problems with like these headphones that you stick right in your ear is the passive noise cancellation, which just means what it's blocking out physically isn't great if you're running outside on busy pavements or there's cars coming up behind you. So the transparency mode has an external mic that detects your external noise and mixes it in with your music, so you're actually hearing more of what's around you. So that is good for runners, I think. And then I often will run to like a park and I'll have the transparency mode, hit the park, turn on noise cancellation. Don't want to hear any like nice sounds of nature. Get rid of all that.
Get rid of the squirrels.
Exactly. Yeah, very loud squirrels. So I think the active noise cancellation is all right for runners, but it's mostly useful for sitting on the tube or being in the office. So it's not a huge running feature, but the transparency mode is a good running feature. You don't get any of that on these, and these do sit in your ear. So,
and that transparency feature actually is really interesting, because we've seen a sort of rise in popularity of bone conducting headphones for some races, and you get that. It's a similar kind of situation, isn't it? It's not quite as open ear, but it's not far off it. You're very much, your situational awareness, as it's called, is much better and more present with these. Yeah,
it's brilliant. There are other headphones that have similar features, but this is by far the best clarity of sound you get through from them. That's the best I've tested so far. Is on the AirPods Pro. Like the Jabra has a mode like that on some of its headphones, and it's nothing like as good, basically.
And then, should we talk about other sort of run-specific features or gripes or positive things that you've found? What else have you uncovered?
One gripe I've got with these, and other things that Apple tends to make, and Beats, obviously owned by Apple now, is there's no off button, which means, particularly with these, so you take these out for a long run, or you're going somewhere, or you're going to the start of a race, basically, you put them in your pocket, you want to turn them off. You're using up battery life. It doesn't matter so much if it's 9 hours, but like if I'm taking these to the office, say, or I run into the office, turn them off, have a shower, have a couple of meetings, put them back on. They've had to be on the entire time if I haven't got the case, because the only way to turn them off is to put them back in the case.
So let me get this straight. Even if you unpair them with your phone, they're still powered.
They're just sitting on.
They're just sitting on.
And like, and if you're not playing music for them, the battery life will go down slower. So it's not. I mean, with 9 and 5 hours, you're probably okay, but it's just annoying. I found, like, when I had the old AirPods, in particular, say you've got 5 hours of battery life. Say you're a 4-hour marathoner, and you put your case in your bag, in the bag drop, and you're sitting at the start line for an hour if it's a London Marathon.
Yeah.
You've lost one of your hours of battery life not playing any music, sitting there, because they don't let you turn them off.
Well, and often for a marathon or a race, you're leaving the house. You could be leaving the house at 7 o'clock. Race might be starting at 9. You know, some other races.
Yeah.
We both just did Loch Ness, and we were up there at.
Yeah.
Okay, we're up at 6 o'clock in the site, 4 hours before the race starts.
Yeah.
And if that's draining power all the way, these are not going to cut it.
I just don't see why you wouldn't just. I mean, there's buttons on there. Just make a 5-second hold, turn them off.
Hey Siri, switch off my headphones.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that'd be perfect.
No.
Yeah.
And then I guess in terms of the price comparison, what are we talking about here?
So the Beats Powerbeats Pro are $219.95 RRP. That you can get them a little bit cheaper now. You're still paying over 200 quid. And Apple have just launched, and it's 249 on the nose, which is loads of money. Absolutely loads of money. And even the truly wireless headphone area, where everything premium is about 150 minimum, I think.
Yeah.
That's still substantially more. So with these, you've got this active noise cancellation. That is a killer feature. There's not many other headphones that do that. I don't think there's any others I've tried that are good sports headphones that do that. But again, if you're just a runner, primarily worried about running, you might not be that worried about the active noise cancelling. Yeah. In which case, you can look at a range of excellent headphones for around 150.
Yeah.
So you're a big fan of the Jaybird Vista, I know.
The Jaybird Vista are good. I think they do pretty much everything I need from them. They've got great battery life. There's solid sound quality.
Yeah.
There's a few nifty little tricks like auto off, which solves one of the problems that you get with these. But I also, there's something really funny I find about the AirPods, not so much with the Beats Pro. They almost look too clean and shiny and nice, and they feel like an office headphone to me, or a commuter headphone. And I feel a little bit guilty about taking them out on a 9-hour ultra where they're going to get grubby and sweaty and muddy, and there's just something. I think for all day, where you have a part of your day is running for an hour for fitness, but you've got other uses for these. They're good, they're brilliant, and they're probably worth the money. If you're just looking for a headphone for running, I agree. I kind of put words in your mouth, but I would go a little bit lower.
I still think even I also feel like the Jaybird Tara Pro is like one of the better brilliant running headphones, and that's not truly wireless, but it just fits so light against your ears. You don't necessarily need truly wireless headphones for running. Only other thing I would say also, especially if you're talking about the kind of grubby ultra thing, is these are rated sweat and water resistant, not sweat and water proof, which you will get in like the Jaybird Vista and a couple of other headphones that are cheaper. So although I've never had any, I use the original AirPods, which is the same kind of basic waterproof rating for like the best part of a year in all kinds of conditions. Never had any problems with them. It's just that being fully waterproof does kind of guarantee you that a bit more longevity, you'd think.
So if we're going to try and get off the fence, and we were going to choose one, and you can either say one is better than the other and you would rather have it, and I'm fine with that, or you can do that thing where you go, well, this one's better for this type of runner and this one's better for another type of runner. So if you had to pick one, which would you pick?
If I had to pick just one, purely based on running, I would probably go for the Beats, just for 9 hours of battery and a more secure fit.
Same.
If I had one pair of headphones in my life, which is in reality I can't imagine, I'd get the AirPods Pro, because they're like on the tube. The active noise cancellation is amazing. When I'm running, I don't really care about it, but the rest of your life it is a big plus point. So I think, but for pure running, I think the Beats has probably got the edge, I'd say.
So people, that is our comparison of the Apple AirPods Pro and the
Beats Powerbeats
Pro. You guys make your mind up.
Let us know what you think in the comments below. Like and subscribe.